thing that dawns on you, my God, you're lonely. Ha! You're lonely, and I think everyone in Germany is lonely. I swear to God, this is one of the countries that it's the hardest to meet friends. I swear, I'm not cheating, I'm not even exaggerating if I tell you the past 1 year I have not met more than 3 people. So the second thing, once you've started settling into the country, for me, I don't come from a first world or second world country, I come from a developing country. So the last thing is friendships and dating. So this is probably of like a year here, and you're trying to consider, okay, maybe I should date, maybe I should start. What's up, beautiful people? It's your girl back at it again. Hey, hey, hey! I am so glad to be seeing you guys again. And today, just like he saw on the topic, we are going to be talking about 7 or 8 things that I wish I knew before I moved abroad. Before I left home, before I turned and left everything and went into a new country where I knew absolutely nothing about. And if you're planning on moving home or moving away from home, I guess this is a very important video for you to watch, because it's not easy, it's worth it, it's absolutely worth it, but it doesn't always feel great. Secondly, I know every person who's watching this video and they're away from home. If you relate, make sure you let me know on the comment section. I want to know that I'm not going through this alone, and I want you to also tell me, okay, it's great, I mean, okay, or maybe it's not. You know, go ahead and interact with me on the comment section and let me know how you feel about not being home, or how you feel or how you expect it to be once you move away from home. Just before we get into the video, if you like this content or you like this type of people, me in specific, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that notification button so you get notified every time bomb videos like this are out, and make sure you stick with me to the end of this video, because I'm going to be giving you 2 or 3 tips on how to survive when you're living in a country where you have no idea of anything. When you have no idea, like, if it's not working out, baby, go home. I'm kidding. Keep pushing until you can't push anymore, and that's it. Before we go right into the video, I have realized some of you still need B1 books. So if you need a B1 book of German to be able to study German by yourself, make sure you also let me know down on the comment section. I'm going to be sending you the book on email, so make sure if you drop your, you can also drop your email address so I could just pick it and write you, you know, I mean, it's also easier. Yes, go ahead and let me know so I can send you. Just before we even go into the topic and talk about the things that I wish I knew before I moved abroad, I'm going to be telling you one thing, and one thing for sure: preparation is hectic. Preparation is hectic. So make sure if you're choosing the country where you want to go, where you want to move to, make sure it ticks all your boxes, because the preparation for it is hectic and you don't want to be doing this twice and then changing your mind. So the thing about the preparation, you have to gather all your documents. Depending on which country you're moving to, you have to gather a lot of documents. There's a lot of paperwork, there's a lot of things to be certified, there's a lot of paperwork you're going to have to go through. And once you're finished going through the paperwork, you have to go and apply for the visa. And I have to admit, this is the hardest part for me. The paperwork wasn't that bad, but going into the embassy to apply for your visa, this appointment, it's crazy when you have to just go there and talk about your dream to someone who has no idea, you know. I mean, it's great, it's beautiful, it just wasn't my cup of tea. And I guess the worst of the worst things is waiting for your visa. Once you've already submitted all your documents and you're waiting for them to grant you visa, you don't sleep properly every day, because you're like, oh my God, I think they're going to deny it. And it's unfortunate that sometimes it does get denied. But if it gets denied, just know you can always try again. You can always try a different country, and you can always start over again, just in case it gets denied. But in this case, you're waiting and you're not sure whether it's going to be denied or granted. It's just a very, very weird space there in between. And sometimes it can take so long. I know of people who waited for their visas 2 or 3 months. I also didn't have to wait so long. I waited only 10 days. Or I think 9, but I also know people who got theirs on the following day, and people who waited for so long. So there is this dreaded wait that is so emotionally exhausting. And once you've gotten your visa, the preparation to move, what do you move, what do you move with, what do you pack, what do you not, What do you leave for your people? What do you like, the farewell party and everything, if you have to have one? And it's just so crazy, this whole process when you're preparing to move. Have to prepare you psychologically. The preparation is also just not a cup of, it's also not just that easy. Like, the preparation does also require a lot of money, depending on where you're moving, why you're moving, and for what reason. It's also costly, so also be prepared to take over the costs. And yeah, it just doesn't happen. There are easier ways to move with minimal cost, but there are also ways that are really expensive. If you're looking for cheaper ways, make sure you watch all the videos on my channel, because your girl is cheap. I'm not only cheap, I don't have money. Hey, I don't. Sina, Nyaber, Sina. I don't have it. But I know one day when I sit here, I will tell you I have money. One day I'll tell you I have money. So the first thing about being an expatriate in a new country, oh my god, nothing is anymore at your comfort zone. Everything feels like you have to move out of your comfort zone. Things that make it really bad is if you're moving to a country where you don't speak the native language. For example, for me, I speak English, but I moved to a country where we speak German, and oh my god, like, everything feels so new. Everything pushes you beyond what you know. It pushes you beyond your comfort zone, because if you have to go, for example, grocery shopping, you have to know what you want to buy, what it's called in that language. I mean, it's easier these days because it's Google Translate and every other app out there, but you have to know, you have to ask questions, and you cannot speak the language. So make sure, one tip, if you're moving to a country where you're going to be speaking a different language, make a point to learn the language for sure. Like, just even if it's just the basics, just make sure at least you can say, hi, how do I find my way to this and that place? And just make sure, for example, you have the minimal basics that you think, okay, this is not helping in any way. It might save your life because you're foreign, and you're foreign in a foreign land, who's living in a new country, and you need to put some effort on learning the language. The other thing is the culture is so new. Like, you're going to meet people. For example, for me, when I moved here, I used to have 3 warm meals in a day. When I moved here, these days I only have 1 warm meal in a day. The rest I have a cold breakfast and a cold dinner, because when I moved here in Germany, Germans don't eat warm at night. Like, they call it Abendbrot, which means evening bread. And you're going to meet very different culture, people who live different, talk different, move different, understand different, have a different way of life. They're just different, and it's because of where they are. And if you're going to move into their culture, it's weird if you expect them to change themselves to suit you. I mean, you don't really have to change, but you have their ways, their things you have to adjust to be able to fit into the new culture. So the thing is, the new culture, the new language, all of these things put a barrier for you. Of course, it's not a barrier that you cannot break, but it definitely is there. For example, when you're trying to get something and you can't just get it out of your mouth because you know what it is in your head, but your mouth doesn't speak German, for example. On everything feeling new, you also get to know new brands. For example, you're so comfortable going home buying a particular type of bread. Why? Because you're comfortable with the type of bread that you want. For me, for example, I used to like what was it called, super loaf bread, particularly in Kenya. But when I moved to Germany, before I could actually get into knowing all the brands of bread that are here and what exactly I like, it took me so much time. In comparison to home, I just know, particularly, I just want super loaf. I will go here. If I don't get it, I go to the next shop and I'm still looking for the same thing. But here, you're going to try a lot of things, a lot of brands, and you even of things as simple as bread, or when you're looking, for example, for clothes and you don't know which store is better, like which store suits your price, suits your style, suits everything, you have to learn everything afresh. Whereas in your country, you knew where exactly to go to get what you need. So you get to forego this comfort And moving abroad just makes you feel like a baby afresh. You feel like you're 6 years old and you have to learn everything, every little thing, from the laws of that country. What happens if you go over a traffic light? What happens if I drive without my driving license? What happens if I, for example, take photographs, take pictures and have someone's face in my photos? Can I post them? Can I not? Because that's a big deal, for example, in Germany. And if you don't live here particularly, maybe you wouldn't know. But yes, apparently there are a ton of things that are going to be new to you, and you're gonna have to learn them, okay? And it's really not the easiest. Sometimes it's really, really hard, especially if it's something that's easy in your head. But if you want to make it and you put in enough effort, it is supposed to work out. And remember, you can always ask for help. You can always ask someone. You can always write someone. You can always use Google Translate, okay? Yeah. So the second thing, once you've started settling into the country, for me, I don't come from a first world or second world country. I come from a developing country. That means a first world country is moving really fast for me. It's really, really moving fast. There are a lot of appointments, there are a lot of errands, there are a lot of everything that you have to do, and unfortunately, you have to do it yourself. If you don't have anybody here who's with you, you have to attend all your appointments yourself, you have to run all your errands yourself, you have to go shopping yourself, you have to book your appointment for the salon, you have to go to work because of course you have to work, you have to do a lot of things and you do them yourself, and life moves very, very, very fast. It moves very fast. You probably used to have time for your hobbies every day or every other day, but this time you find that most of your time is occupied with you trying to integrate into the new culture. For example, what you'd be doing at home playing the guitar, you would be learning German, for example. So time starts to move very, very, very fast, and you don't understand why exactly it is, but that's actually it. For people who come also from first world countries into first world countries, I don't know if you have any experience. Make sure you let me down on the comment section. Let's get to hear what you guys get to experience in new countries, and let's interact on the comment section. So once you've settled in and most of the hectic part is already gone, the next thing that dawns on you, my god, you're lonely. Ha! You're lonely, and I think everyone in Germany is lonely. I swear to god, this is one of the countries that it's the hardest to meet friends. I swear, I'm not cheating, I'm not even exaggerating if I tell you the past 1 year I have not met more than 3 people. I've not even met more than 2. It's extremely crazy. Like, last year was COVID, so maybe that's the reason, I don't know. But you're going to be lonely, you're going to be missing home. It's going to be hard to make friends, especially if you're not a social human being. But if you're social, maybe it gets a lot easier. But you get to find yourself a lot alone, and you get to miss home a lot. You have homesick, you have a lot of homesick. Every day you want to ask yourself, oh my god, am I going to make it? You know, will I make it? And people at home also miss you. They talk to you and tell you, oh my god, we miss you a lot. And it's really, really not easy, especially when you think they have it all, like they are living the best life, because you're out here trying to struggle to get into a new system, and they're still living in the old system that you all know. And this loneliness gets to you thinking, oh my god, I'm not sure, well, you know. And also these people missing you home, they start asking you questions of when are you going to fly back home. By the way, if you ask me this question, fetish, we're done. Don't ask me when I'm coming home. If you don't know, I flew home unannounced. After 2 years, I just went home and nobody knew about it. Absolutely no one knew about it, and I just enjoyed myself. Of course, I surprised all of them, and the video is also on my channel. Make sure you catch up with it in case you haven't. But if someone left home, leave them alone. Don't ask them when they're coming. We have reasons why we left. Leave us. Don't ask us. We'll come. Okay. And also on the point of being lonely, the thing is you lose a lot of context, because at home maybe you had people you'd see often, and now maybe you're living also in a country where there's a huge time zone difference, and when people are sleeping you're awake, and when you're awake people are sleeping. You are definitely going to lose context with people who you're not extremely close with, but people whom you enjoyed, for example, their company you're talking to. It becomes difficult with the loneliness. I just wish everybody can relate to this, because wow, If you do, just make sure you let me know down on the comment section, because just motivate this girl to keep going. Motivate me, I need it. So the other thing is, once you've gotten comfortable, you've started to master your way around, you know where to get the train, you know where to catch the bus. If you're driving, you know what to do on the road, you know what to get where, and you're starting to go out. The thing is, you are the representative of your country. 3 things. Number 1, every person you meet and you tell them, for example, you're Kenyan, and they've never met a Kenyan before, they're going to tell every other person, Kenyans are like this because they saw you like this. If they saw you have dreadlocks on, they're going to assume every Kenyan has dreadlocks. If they saw, for example, you have, you eat, I don't know what, they're going to tell every other person, Kenyans eat this, this, and that. Secondly, everything in Germany particularly, whoever knows anything about your country, they want to tell you. They want to tell you, I've been to Nairobi. I'm not interested. I've been to Nairobi. I know Nairobi. I know Mombasa. I know this. I know that. Yo, relax. Me too. I know. I know. Okay. It's my country, I know. So you are going to meet people who really are excited to tell you about your country. And the thing is, I really don't mind it as much. But sometimes it's too much. Like, there are things about my country that I don't know, and I'll tell. It's also a point here. There are things that I don't know, but please don't tell me that Nairobi is the capital city of Kenya. Okay, and genau. So you're going to meet a lot of people who want to tell you about your own country, and it's beautiful, of course, because now you get to know your country. It's kind of exposed and everything, you know, but it's just not every day. Don't do that every day. No. Don't do that every day. Don't do that every day. And the third thing is, one thing I get, for example, from my country is we win the marathon. My country wins the marathon a lot. At the Olympics, they took, I think, gold and silver. And every other marathon that Kenyans are involved, they win all the time. So everybody here assumes I am athletic. First of all, I cannot run unless a dog is running up to me. No. Even for working out purposes, I am not running. No. I don't run, so for example, if you're also a black person coming from America, they ask you of the black people's culture, they ask you for I don't know what. If you come from Nigeria, they ask you if you all dance or if you all know how to dance. Hey, it is beautiful to see people interested in other people's cultures. I'm just trying to say, sometimes it's just not easy. It's not easy, especially if you've had a very bad day and someone stops you to ask you where you come from, and when you say you know you come from here, they ask you if you run. If I run? Leave me here. Leave me. Don't do that. Don't do that. So once you've started to meet people, you get to realize that learning the language is a learning process. I initially mentioned that make sure you at least have the basics of the language you're going to be speaking. But the thing is, even if you go to the highest of the highest levels of speaking that language is a learning process. You might know the words in your head, but you can't pronounce them. So you learn them every day of your life. I have been here for 2 years plus now, and I still learn new words every single day, new phrases every single day, probably with every single person I meet who is German, maybe in class or at work or anything. I get to learn new phrases and new sentences from them. So if you're also in the process of learning a language, I'm just here to tell you, take your time and take it easy on yourself. You can't just speak the language. It doesn't work like that. It takes time. It's a working process. It has to develop. It takes time for your mind to be able to accommodate a new language. And be easy on yourself. Be really easy on yourself, because it's not just you. All of us are going through these problems, okay? All of us are going through this problem, so be easy on yourself. Try to learn as much as you can, but even when it's not working out, remember it's not your mother tongue, and it's probably never going to be. Okay, so on my second last point is, on your lowest days you are going to ask yourself a lot of questions. You're going to regret moving, you're going to regret moving home, you're going to hate yourself for making the choices, because on low days are really low, because you don't even have someone you could go and get a hug from. And a hug, for example, from your mom is not the same as any other hugs in the world. Sorry, any other hugs in the world. And for example, if you're used to having company with your dad or your family members or your cousins and everything, it's different when you're alone here in this country or in any other country. So your low days are really low, but also your high days are extremely high. Your high days make you happy. You're so glad you made the choice that you made. You get to see possibilities and you get to see brighter future for yourself, and I think that's absolutely beautiful. But don't forget, lower lows are lowly low, and your high days are actually extremely high, and they're extremely beautiful, and you're thankful that you made the choice that you made. So the last thing is friendships and dating. So this is probably of like a year here, and you're trying to consider, okay, maybe I should date, maybe I should start to make friends, or maybe you've already started making friends. One thing that is going to accompany you for a long time is stereotypes. My God, if your country has any stereotypes, people who are trying to come close to you, they're going to try to erase this stereotype first. It's not always you and then the stereotype, it's always the stereotype and then you. For example, people probably assume Kenyan women like money. I mean, who doesn't even like money? But what the heck? But let's assume Kenyan women like money. So if someone meets you, they're going to think, first of all, you're trying to take their money, or I don't know, or you're trying to make a lot of money, or you don't want to date because you just were trying to focus on the money. And whereas if they take the time to know you, they even realize you're probably money motivated and not even materialistic. It's just what it is. People, when they meet you and they're trying to get close to you, they're going to have to erase stereotypes before they actually get to creating relationships with you. This is just an example. Sometimes it's different. Some people just meet you and they like you and they just want to you know, to vibe with you already without caring where exactly you come from and everything. But there are also people that you will meet that will assume things about you, or they will assume of the things that they've heard of your country or where you come from, and they're going to want to confirm if this is right or this is wrong. Please don't take it personal. I mean, it's just a shoot mechanism. Mechanismus. It's just them trying to protect themselves, and it's okay. I mean, it's also you, like, probably hearing this and that of all these people, and then suddenly you're meeting them. You're going to want to know. But if also gets too far, bro, stand up for yourself. Stand up for yourself. If you need Google Translate, make sure you download it. Download it. Good. We've come to the end of the things that I wish I knew before I moved abroad, and I promise to give you a few tips. Number one, speak the language. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you're speaking it right or wrong. Speak, because if you don't speak, you're not going to learn. You learn mostly by speaking and by hearing. Interact with people as much as you can, even if it's hard, try. And go ahead and speak the language. Secondly, learn all the rules. Try to avoid any trouble as much as you can, because who knows what's even a lawyer called in German. So avoid it. Avoid it. Don't do that. Don't do that. Teach yourself the things that you need to know. Attend all the legal appointments that you have to attend, and keep yourself out of trouble. And third, be very careful whom you meet. And if you have bad feelings about people, bro, confirm it at a distance. Do not get close for you to confirm it. Confirm it at a distance. And fourth, pack less. You don't need everything you think you need. You don't need it. You don't need it. So don't pack everything. You don't need it. You don't need it. So if you enjoyed this content, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make a girl happy, make a girl proud, keep a girl motivated to keep dropping hot videos all the time. And until we see each other again, I guess it's going to be soon, because I am actually enjoying shooting videos this season. It's making me extremely happy. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, interact with me in the comment section, notification button, and let's go.